Question 9, part A. Write these decimals in order of size. Start with the smallest decimal. So we're looking for one of these decimals to get us kick-started. So the idea with being able to tell the order of size for decimals is you start with the first digit and you work along until you find the smallest one first of all. So the fact that they're all zeros mean that we've kind of got a tie with the first digit. It's inconclusive as it stands. So we then look at the second digit. We have a 6, a 0, so that's smaller, another 6, and another 0. So that means that the third number and the fifth number are sort of winning the race for being the smallest. So these are going to be the smallest two numbers. We keep going until such time as we have a winner. The next digit that we look at has a 6, this one has a 0. So we have our winner right there. This is the smallest digit. I can immediately write that down. Now, if that's the smallest one, then the next one here must be the second. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to cross both of these numbers out just so that it's clearer what we're going to do with the rest of them. So these two, we've dealt with them. They're definitely the smallest ones. Let's look at the other numbers. So we already had this 0 at the start, and I can't remember what color, but let's just make it pink. It was the 6 for the second digit. We now look at all of these in terms of the digit after that, see which one's first. Sorry, smallest, we have a 0, a 6, and a 1. We actually get everything we need to know from this because that 0 means that that number is going to come next because the other two are bigger. So we have 0.607. And then we have a 1 here, which is smaller than the 6. So the next number I'm going to write is that last one, 0.615. And then that just leaves us, after we've got rid of those two, that just leaves us with one more, 0.66. And of course we can erase all this just so that you can see the numbers originally. That's it in order of size from smallest to biggest. Part B, write 24 as a fraction of, that's basically as a fraction, in a fraction, out of, there's another way you could say it, 24 out of 80. So first mark out of 2 for this question, I write 24 out of 80. It then asks us to simplify it. So we simplify this fraction. You can technically just type in your calculator, but if we divide top and bottom by 8, what that does is turns the top into a 3, turns the bottom into a 10, and 3/10. So we're looking 10. 3/10 is our fully simplified fraction. Part C, write 9% as a decimal. Well, 9% just means out of 100. So first of all, if I write this as a fraction, we end up with 9 out of 100. And if I want to turn that into a decimal, I actually do 9 divided by 100, which is going to give us 0.09. Next part, 43% of a class had a school lunch. What percent did not have a school lunch? So in other words, what was the rest? Well, 100% would have been everybody. This 43% that had a lunch, if we take that away, that's going to give us this percentage for did not have a school lunch, which will give us 57%. 57% is the answer for that one. Part E, work out 2/9 of 18.54 kilograms. So 2/9, you could figure out what 1/9 is first by dividing by 9. So I could do 18.54 divided by 9, which will give us a 2.06. And then we multiply that by 2, which will give us a 4.12. I could also just write this as 2/9 times 18.54. Let the calculator do the work, and it will also give us 4.12. Either way, it works out fine. Next part, we have increase 4,600 by 27%. So you got multiple options for this question. If you want to increase by 20%, then that means that you're technically trying to find 127%. One of the ways that you could do that is by turning it into a decimal and multiplying. So we have 1.27 times this 4,600. That would give you the answer in one line. Your alternative option here is, well, we know that 100% is 4,600. So we could find out 10% first of all, divided by 10. We could find out 1% divided by 10 again. And then from there, if I want to get the 20 part, I can double this to give us 920. I can then, to get the 7% part, I can multiply this by 7 to get 326. And then I could add those together to get 27% overall, which would be 1246. And then after all of that, I can add it to 4,600. So I'd have 4,600 plus 1246. Whether or not you're looking at this method here and ending up adding it on to 4,600, or whether or not you're using a decimal multiplier to multiply 4,600 to get 127%, either way, you're going to get the answer 5,842. Done.